That wasn't very ecologically sound, Mike. I'm just saying. It's kind of an F the environment kind of thing. Just...
All right, looks like we're just finishing up, getting the floor set up for our elite teams of 3. Gonna be bringing out the ladies first. And since they're out here, we'll kick things off down in lane 13. It's gonna be Team Majestic Ladies. Lane number 12, Team Hard ASS. Lane number 11, Team JKP John's Killer Protein. Lane number 10, 828 Heroes. Lane number 9, the Chi-Town Girls. Lane number 8, the Tie-Dye Nation. Lane number 7, Michigan Muscle. Lane number 6, Maine's Finest Misfits. Lane 5, Laminin Linebackers. Lane number 4, East Coast Broads. And lane number 3, Latinas.
As we're getting everything finalized and in position, all of our athletes out here in their positions. Just to give you guys a quick heads up, it's going to have an 8-minute time cap on this event. We should have the graphics up for you here in just a little bit, but we're going to have our lead athlete step out, 100 heavy double unders. Then they will perform a 20-foot obstacle course handstand walk. You can see that O course laid out in front of you. When they get to the other side, they're going to find a barbell, and they will begin to establish their 1-rep clean and jerk max as soon as they athlete number 1 finishes the handstand walk. Athlete 2 may begin the double unders. Judges, to your positions and a hands up when you are ready. Judges, to your position and a hand up when you are ready.
Okay.
Hey, we'll have our phone on to text us if we can.
Judges,
this is the only way
hand
we
in the
can
air
communicate. Just text.
when you are ready. Judges, a hand in the air when you are ready. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, here we go, Larry. Your elite teams of 3. Athlete number 1. We're going to kick things off with 100 heavy double unders. Before they move on to that 20-foot handstand walk obstacle course. And then 22nd athletes onto the floor. So on and so forth. Finishing up on the road for big platforms. A max out big total for the team for their clean and jerk on and road barbell for 2 separate scores. Yes, sir. I absolutely forgot to include the parts of finish off. It is actually 2 separate scores, so the person to get through all the toes of the handstand walk. Now they want this one. 4, 5, 6. Total.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 feet. 20 feet. One time.
With a obstacle.
Well, yeah. Well, no, you said like 20 meters, and I was talking.
I forgot they were gonna.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not a distance.
Got it. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, so we're snatching. Well.
Looks like 175 on the bar, if I'm counting that right, at a distance for JKP.
Once again, each athlete heading through 100 double unders, 20-foot obstacle course on their hands before getting onto that barbell. First athlete with the bar up, down in lane number 9. It's going to be the Chi-Town girls.
JKP, no problem. In lane number 11, power clean, and right up overhead, 175 in the bag.
And now a good lift down in lane number 5 for the Lebanon linebackers. That could be 145 for the linebackers. And now down in lane number 4.
Our team in lane number 9, Chi-Town girls, also 175 on the bar. Split jerk to get it started. Or split lead to get it started. Split jerk to get it locked out, and they are good for 175. It's like 195 on the bar in lane number 11.
Lane 4, good lift at 195. Putting on some more weight. Next attempt's going to be 215 as they add to their scores. Once again, it's going to be the sum total from all 3 athletes as a separate score. All of our athletes making their way through. And a nice, easy 215 down lane number 4 for the East Coast Broads. Power clean and a push shirt for 215. That ain't a bad way to start your team out. As we cross over the 4-minute mark, halfway point, 8 minutes. So 4 minutes down, 4 minutes to go, ladies.
JKP athlete number 2, also good at 175. Lane. Lane number 9, Chi-Town girls, was like 195.
Looks to be a good lift out of lane number 4, possibly 230. 230. And now they'll adjust that weight for their next athlete.
The ladies in lane number 11. Looks like a composite team, a combo of 3 different affiliates: Invictus, Shockoe Bottom CrossFit, and Ocean State CrossFit. All 3 of their athletes done with the dubs and the handstand walk, and all 3 of them in for at least 1 clean and jerk. I know they started at 175. I believe 2 of their athletes at 195. Their 3rd athlete addressing the bar, and she looks like she is going to step in at 175. And athlete 3 for JKP, good at 175. She's going to boost it up to 195. And they got a pretty fair amount of time on the clock, Mike, to keep it going. Just under 2 minutes.
That's right, Larry. 2 minutes to go. Just confirming down in lane 4, a 230 lift for the East Coast Broads. And she said, yes, 230, but I only weigh 130. So she's pretty happy about that. Adjusting some weight now. Again, we'll see how it all plays out as we got about 90 seconds remaining. Just about 90 seconds remaining.
2:05, I believe, on the bar in lane number 11 for JKP.
$250 on the bar. East Coast Broads down in lane number 4. 250. East Coast Broads, a good clean. Gotta readjust that bar. Can't lock out the jerk. And about 30 seconds remaining. Solid effort with 250.
Less than 20 seconds.
Ten seconds. We're gonna count you down, ladies. 3, 2, 1, time. All right, ladies. Ladies, make sure you grab all your belongings, exit the competition floor.
All right, here we go. Got our next heat of athletes making their way out to the competition floor. Again, our elite teams of 3.
It started as a rainy day this morning, but the sun is peeking through the clouds here in Miami, Florida for the 3rd and final day of competition for the 2019 Wodapalooza CrossFit Festival. I'm Chase Singham, and alongside with me all weekend is Bill Grundler. And Bill, as we get set to do the final heats for the elite 3-person women's teams, we have this fast and furious AMRAP of double unders, no problem. They didn't do those yesterday. And I was looking at she was like, what's the big deal about a 20-foot handstand walk? Well, there's a little implement in the way.
Oh, there's and it's the implement. There was all the hullabaloo
Judges,
about the
hands
regional
up when
style
you are ready.
handstand walk with
Judges.
that ramp and the steps, and that's exactly what these athletes have to deal with. And it's not the fact that you don't have a whole lot of time. you're not going to have a whole lot of opportunities to test it out or to make mistakes. And the thing is that now that you're in that time crunch, so it's going to be a very mental game here. And it's a two-piece. You have to get everyone through the double unders and that obstacle, and then on top of that, you have to have a 1-rep max clean and jerk. So there are two elements happening simultaneously, and we'll see who's going to be able to keep their head in the game.
Your final heats has your top 10 teams after 5 events. Currently leading the standings is Cassie, Jen, and Christy. They have a 40-point lead on the Canadian Broads. They'll be in lanes side by side. Now, 40 points sounds like a lot, but Bill, we were looking at the scoring system. And with an implement like a handstand walk obstacle where you can have a bad day, and it's a bad day.
A bad day.
It's a I'm not going fast day. It's a I can't do this day.
I can't do it, and this is what happens. You start to see people going right by you, and it's not one person. It ends up being 6 people. So like you said, Chase, it's a lot of points that you can either make or you can lose immediately.
But it's not a lot of places. So between 1st and 10th, that's a 40-point difference.
Yep.
And 10th place isn't unreasonable for any team out here, especially if that what we've seen on the team side so far this weekend.
Right.
Now all 3 athletes will do 100 double unders and a handstand walk, as Cassidy Lance McWhirter is first to go out. And no surprise to see her lead the charge just for her proficiency on her hands. Now what happens is that in 8 minutes, once one athlete gets across, they can immediately start working on their clean and jerks.
That's right. So you see Christy working in the background on her double under down the bottom right-hand corner. Up at the top left-hand corner, that's Cassidy putting her weights up on her bar. And all 3 of these athletes have done this event in a regional type competition and are all good at it. So I think if you had to look at what team has the best shot all 3 athletes, you're going to have to look at Cass, Jen, and who am I missing on that group?
Christy.
Christy. They always come up with that name where it's not a name, it's their names, and I have to do a whole group thing. But all of them very powerful, very adept at this gymnastic and body weight, then jumping into that strong clean and jerk movement at the end.
Now we're looking over in lane number, for the Canadian Broads, in lane number 9. Alex Parker was their first lead athlete, and as we said before, she's struggling on the handstand walk obstacle course. She's just got over. So Alex Parker, the 2:30 mark, it took Cassidy Lance a minute to get through.
And that's a lot of time that's wasted, not only for her and the frustration, but remember, we have that second piece of the event that you have to contend with, meaning you got to get everyone else across, and they need to get a lift in. If someone doesn't get a lift in, that's a 0.
That's Jessica Phillips for Big Dogs. Now that's an athlete they really need to get across that obstacle course because she has one of the heaviest listed clean and jerks at 258 pounds. When you think about a 3-team format, if you have one athlete that can put up some serious weight, when you're only putting 3 people together, that's a massive advantage to have on your team.
Well, and then it's a matter of like, okay, where do we put them? Because we know that's the second event of this 2-part event. So do you want to risk the chance that they can't get there, or do you want to get them out there so you know they can get those big weights? Now here's the thing. You have a big lifter up in the front. When you have your next lifter coming in, you're going to have to start stripping a lot of weight off. So that's what they have to, hopefully, if they played with this back at home or at least talked about the strategy to decide which way they want to put that, because you're right, you don't want to lose that ace in your pocket.
Top 2 teams in the middle of your screen. Jen Smith for Cassie, Jen, and Christy on the right in the black tank and blue shorts. Coming across on the left is Meredith Root for the Canadian Broads. So they have their second athlete across and onto the platform. They're trying to keep pace as Jen Smith just finishes up her set of double unders. She'll be the 3rd athlete for Cassie, Jen, and Christy. So what's good for them is that they now have 4 total minutes to get as much weight as possible collectively for the clean and jerk.
And that's what you want. You want to be able to have that time. Obviously, the first part, the A part of this, is get everyone across the floor as fast as you can over that obstacle. We just saw Jen come down. And this is one of the things that I've seen Jen Smith do is she does struggle with this if it gets in her head. She just has to stay nice and calm, know that she's got plenty of time, and then eventually get herself up and over that obstacle.
So it is in lane 8, center part of the screen. Jen Smith has still yet to get across for her 3rd one. You can see Cassie Lance McWhirter come over. give her some words of encouragement. Now, the big thing here is that they have 3 minutes left.
Yep.
Not every team is going to be able to maximize their time here on the clean and jerks. And especially if you have two teammates looking around where everyone else is. She needs to get over.
Yeah.
Because just getting 135
that's
is going to be that's
a
135 total pounds
right.
to your team total.
And that's exactly what Jen needed, with just a little bit more rest, a little bit of relaxation to get her across, kind of mellow out her brain a little bit, get her over on that platform.
Now as Jen Smith gets across, Caroline Prevost out of the Canadian Broads, their third athlete gets over as well. So your top two teams are the only two teams that have all three athletes on the lifting platform. As
wow.
Christy Ermo.
Good fight. Wow.
Hits a successful lift for her clean and jerk. Cassie Lance McWhorter will line up for the same thing. Now, we can look at maxes all day, but when you have a team of three, there has to be some compromise between
100%.
your athletes.
Yeah, you're not going to have, this is not, we talk maximum lifts. That's when you're rested. That's when you're able to take your break and set everything up great. These guys are under time constraint, plus they know they want to get everyone to get a good, decent amount. If you can hit all three of your athletes at about 85%, that's going to be a great score for your team.
And with just over 2 minutes remaining, Jen Smith gets her first lift. And almost at this point, you're giving her the whole time.
Kinda.
There's no point in getting 5 extra pounds on a max lift that you just tried when she can get 40.
Exactly. You need to make sure that she has her time. The other two athletes, Christy and Cassidy, they already spent the time on the bar. I mean, the fact that Jen was kind of struggling on the obstacle, that's good because it allowed the other two girls to have plenty of time on the platform to get the lifts they need. Now it's all about Jen. Again, she's got about 90 seconds. She needs to make sure she hits something decent. It's not going to be a 1-rep max. I don't think we're going to see anything like that. But she needs a good, strong lift, something to get her confidence and then kind of get a nice little plus 10 pounds on top of that.
Forward part of your screen is team height. They actually finished last night's first heat in a top 5 score. That's got them into the final heat coming into today. See Jessica Phillips in the forward part of your screen. One of the athletes who are looking to put up a big weight, still working on her handstand walk.
That's not what you want. You just don't want to have it. You want to lose that ace in the hole.
"30 seconds remaining. Now some athletes scrambling to get as many weights as they can. You can see in the back Kelsey Keel. And it's going to be 10 seconds, so it's going to be close. And it just saw Seoul Miami get their third athlete just across, but I don't think it's going to be enough time to shed the weight and get the lift. And that's what we're talking about, what can happen in an event like this with an obstacle like the handstand walk, as we saw it almost wreck some teams.
Well, you got to figure, we had yesterday with the penalty round, if you messed up those unbroken double unders, you had to do extra work on the skier. You get penalized here, same thing. If you can't get everyone across that obstacle, then the penalty is you only get 2 people to go for your total rather than the 3 people. And that's going to, there's no way you're going to be in the top 5, top 10 even on that. It will dramatically drop you down. So not only do you do bad in the first one, because of that, do bad in that second part of the event as well.
Elite 3-person teams for the women's side are done for their first event of the day here at the new competition floor, The Deck. As final action from Wodapalooza continues, the elite men 3-person teams will be coming up next.
It would be easier to quit, more comfortable. It might even feel good in the moment, but I'm not built to give in. I'm built to win. I refuse to let my best time beat me. I won't let my last PR be my last PR. Because my next best is around the corner. I don't rest. I recover.
Curious how important it is at Enswear for the clothing to be functional, comfortable, and stylish? Well, we just postponed production for a month on our newest leggings because the crotch made it look like I had camel toe. Because at Enswear, we say no to camel toe.
30 seconds, athletes. Judges to your starting positions, please. Judges to your starting positions, please. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
The elite teams for the 3 athletes on the men's side will be taking the stage here at the deck for the first time today, as this is the 3rd and final day of competition. These are your place finishes overall from 12th to 21st, as we'll have 2 heats total in this event. And it's a very quick event when you talk about time as well as difficulty with that obstacle on the handstand walk.
Yeah, not only is it a technical event as far as you have to have a whole lot of accuracy and coordination, body awareness to do it. You have to have a lot of strength, a lot of power for those clean and jerks, but you got to be able to keep your head in the game. And that first piece, it's 100 double unders, doesn't have to be unbroken or anything. You have your 100 double unders, then you have that obstacle right at the back side on the right side of the screen, right in the middle there. You see steps first into that ramp. Now, we've seen this show its face in the regional level, and I think that was something that a lot of athletes were really excited to see, because it's a very, I'll tell you what, it's fun. It's very difficult, but it's very fun. And a lot of athletes wanted a chance to get their hands on that and play with it. It's not easy, and what we've seen is you don't really have a whole lot of time to do it. All you gotta do is get over it one time, but if you don't, then, and you're the first person, you are holding up your team, and that's decreasing the amount of time that you have on the lifting part and the clean and jerk part on the other side of that. So you want your people, ideally the ones that are your best handstand walkers, to get over that obstacle, get on the platform, start putting some weight on the board, and then let your other ones not feel the pressure and try to keep them as relaxed as possible as they have to get their way over there.
And to your point is, I think what we saw on the women's side is that you don't really need more time to do the clean and jerks. I feel like the adrenaline will take care of that.
Absolutely.
You need to make sure priority number 1 is that everybody has an opportunity to get to the platform.
Yeah, and this is the other thing. Everybody lifts. These are CrossFitters. They all lift. They all do handstand walks. Not everybody has access to a ramp like this. Sure, everyone may have played with it or manufactured something, but that doesn't mean that everyone has. So this is the newest element, and it's the one that's going to bring up the most anxiety for these athletes. And I'll tell you what, if you make it over, great. You feel confident you're going to go into your lift. It's very strong. You miss it once, and immediately the anxiety ramps up. So it's not just a little bit like, oh, that's not a big deal, I'll just get on the next one. Now you're like, oh my gosh, now I got the time on my back, I got my team on my back, I'm gonna fail it, and you go into it with so much less confidence. You miss another one, it's almost like you're kind of almost counting yourself out.
You saw there in lane number 4, successful clean and jerk of 275, just starting things out. And in that team, you have Jonathan Gavro has a listed clean and jerk of 375 pounds.
So light. So light. Now that's a guy, now we talked about this earlier with on the women's side. If you have someone that has such a massive lift like that, hopefully they're decent with the handstand walk, so you can get them over there and get as many of those pounds on the bar as you can. Give them time to go to work, because you want that. Everyone else is going to generally be about the same, but if you have someone that's going to be far and above, we're talking 50 pounds above somebody, get them on that bar.
You think of another thing, it's kind of like the paradox of specialists, is that those who have really good clean and jerks typically, if they're not well balanced, don't have the best handstand walk. Vice versa, those that have the best handstand walk traditionally don't have the greatest clean and jerk. So there's this good little blend, I feel like, of skills when you're looking at the team setting that you might not see so many specialists on the individual side.
Well, and we haven't really talked about it because we've been doing the CrossFit element, but there was an event in the strongman competition that they had that was deadlifts and muscle ups. Same idea, but you paired two opposite end of the spectrum events and then see what kind of real athleticity these athletes have. Athleticism these athletes have.
I was going to let it go.
I was going to get it. I
was like, I'll let Instagram take care of that one.
Come on, I'll get it.
We got about, most teams have 2 athletes on the platform as we have less than 4 minutes remaining. Again, it's just 8 minutes where this waterfowl initial beginning, where they do 100 double unders, cross the obstacle course, and onto the opposite side of the competition floor on the platform. Once they get there, they're allowed to start maxing out their clean and jerks. As one comes in, they'll enter, and as the other comes in, they'll kind of collectively get a total weight for this event.
Now, the majority of the teams have 2 of their people across. They're working on that third person. We have less than 3 minutes left. So that last athlete, now the pressure is really on them. They need to do very well on that handstand walk. They need to keep that composure and hopefully get to the other side and get something on that bar and to get it up overhead. Boom, look at that.
295, good. For lane number 11, that is Team Powerade.
And this is what we were talking about. I think for the most part, you have the majority are holding a pretty substantial or pretty similar weight across the board.
Now we see some big weights going on over in lane number 5. As we just saw a successful attempt of 325 pounds. Most other ones are right around that 300 mark. And then in lane number 11, it was 295. The next athlete walks up, throws 50 more pounds on the bar for a casual 345.
I'll take your 295 and raise you.
We had 90 seconds remaining for heat number 1 of 2 for the 3-person team for the Elite Division men. Over there in lane number 4, they have all 3 athletes on the platform, and they have some of the strongest athletes out there with an attempt here at 315. Successful 345 was matched, and it looks like we're going to try another athlete at 345. This is RX Lab, the Flying V, over in lane number 4. 1 minute remaining, 345 pounds on the bar. That'll match 2 of the heaviest lifts we've seen so far.
Oh, man.
Less than 1 minute. 45 seconds.
275 on the bar. And with 30 seconds remaining, lane 4, the Flying V, is going to try one more attempt at 345.
Holy cow, look at that.
A whole penny get it overhead 20 seconds.
Oh my.
Wow.
And a thumbs up.
Wow.
45 for their crew.
And his partner says drop the bar because we need to try to get one more lift if we can, but he has so much weight on the bar, the hardest part looked like them just trying to take it off.
3, 2, 1, time. Big round of applause for all the teams on the floor.
So 3 athletes putting up 345 pounds in this heat, as this is just heat 1 of 2. For the elite 3-person teams on the men's side, your top teams after 5 events will be coming up for heat number 2. More action from the deck here at Wodapalooza coming up.
Again, athletes, if you haven't already, make sure you sign your scorecards. We'll have you exit out towards the stands. And our staff will direct you off the floor from there.
I'm not built to feel that. I'm built to win. I refuse to let my best time leave. I won't let my last PR be my last PR.
All right, here we go. Got our next heat coming out, guys.
I don't rest. I recover.
I'm proud to be a woman with muscles. The sport that I compete in, it's an equal playing field between men and women. We do everything the same. We have the same workouts. We have the same TV airtime. We have the same prize money. Because we can do everything that they can do. We can do it all.
Here at Born Primitive, we're against the grain a little bit. We're proud to be that way. Anyone can become a clothing company. We're not just making apparel. On the side of it, we're embracing fitness, and then the other side of it, honoring those who serve, supporting those communities, and trying to get back when we can. We're actively owned and operated, and I think that is a guiding principle for how we do business. Our brand promise is quality products, positive customer experience, and a brand that encompasses something so much more. By being a part of our community, you're choosing to embrace a mentality of working your ass off, being relentless, never making excuses. It's the mindset of when you put this shirt on and you go to the gym, what are you embracing? Are you going to take the easy way out? Or are you going to take the hard road and get after it? Born Primitive, athlete driven, patriot inspired.
Thirty seconds. Here we go. Judges to your positions, please. Judges to your positions, please. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
Second and final heat of the men's 3-team elite division taking the floor. We saw one of the heaviest sets so far at about 965 total pounds. They had 2 athletes that hit 345. But the biggest problem we've seen so far is getting through these 100 heavy rope double unders and that handstand walk obstacle just to get all 3 athletes onto the platform.
Yeah, so take it. Let's just set what this event is. It's a 2-part event. We have an 8-minute time cap to do 2 events. The first event is waterfall style. Get everyone through 100 double unders and then over that obstacle. Once they get to the other side, they'll get on their platform. They can start building some weight up, and we're looking for a 1-rep max combined weight for all 3 of those athletes. Now, I say all 3 of those athletes, meaning you have to get all 3 of your athletes over to the other side to get your maximum points. We've already seen how, for the most part, it's either they make it over the obstacle or they fail and their brain kind of explodes because they get too frustrated and not be able to make it over that, which not only hurts them on the first part of the event, but also the second part of the event as well.
You can see in the center part of your screen in that turquoise shirt in lane number 9 was Griffin Roll. You can see him in the back left part of your screen. Now coming in, he is definitely one of the stronger guys in the field. You're talking about some heavy weights getting put up on clean and jerk. Not many people have done 300. This guy's nearly snatched 300 in competition twice, and now we go into a clean and jerk. I wouldn't be surprised to see him put one of the larger numbers we've seen so far.
Well, and I think the fact that he knows what was put up in the earlier heat is going to be good. It'll be a good push for him. He knows that he's a powerful, strong lifter. He knows that he can put up on the biggest numbers, but now he has something to shoot for. He also knows, talking to his teammates, where he needs to be. So they're counting on him to get as big a number as he possibly can. We talked about this earlier, strategy-wise. If you know you have your biggest lifter that needs to get those big numbers, get them across first and then put them over the top.
The clean is good. And this shirt can walk down his lip.
Lane number 9, Griffin Roll, we just saw he's running out of blue plates to put on the bar. You can see me at the right corner of your screen as Griffin Roll in the turquoise shirt has put on 315 as an opener. We've seen most athletes start at a 225. It's like, I'll see your 2 blues and raise you 1.
I love the fact that he's got that kind of confidence, though. When you know that you can go big and you have the confidence, you talk about, Olympic lifting style. Oh my gosh, really?
And a power clean
Okay.
and a push jerk.
And that's why it's the opener, because it's that easy for him.
I felt like the hardest part was him keeping his balance when the weight hit the floor.
That was barely a power clean. Barely a power clean.
Griffin Roll insulting everyone here at the floor with an opener of 315. As we are 3 minutes in, 5 minutes left to go. And most teams' second athletes working on to their 100 heavy rope double unders. You can see that handstand walk obstacle course that was pretty much the talk of regionals last year. Is that apparently handstand walking has gotten too easy for CrossFit athletes. We need to throw in an obstacle course of stairs and a ramp.
And I love the fact that it's here. It's made its way from the regional setting, which was our qualifier to the games. This is now our qualifier to the games. So we should have this element in this competition. Man, look at that. Wow.
In the back part of your screen, Griffin Roll just hit 335. And he'll strip some weight off so his second athlete can work in with him. We're looking across the floor. We see a couple 315s, 345s on the bar currently in lane number 11. So we just saw Griffin Roll put up 335, 345s on the bar in lane 11. See him in the bottom part of your screen, 345 on the bar. So that makes 3 athletes in these 2 heats that have hit 345 for a clean and jerk.
And what's impressive, we talked about you have your specials. We talked about that in the last heat. Usually your stronger guys aren't going to be your most agile, gymnastic-y kind of guys. We have everyone across, for the most part, the majority of your big teams, the big names out here, we have them across the floor, and all 3 are working on the time. So we have 3 minutes left now for these teams to put a lot of weight on the bar and get that weight up overhead.
295 in the background for Bjork and Carl Goodmanson. Food Spring Athletics has won 4 of 5 events here this weekend, only taking a dismal second place.
How dare
in
they?
the other event that they didn't actually win. 315 up for Hutchison.
Man.
So he'll get that. So we got a 335, a 315, a 275 with just over 2 minutes remaining. Now the cat and mouse game between these athletes and these teams. Although they don't have a lot of time to look around and see what they're doing. They kind of just got to put their nose down and lift some weight.
Well, for the team here, for Sophie's the Queen, these guys, the judge said that was a no rep for Hutchinson because there were weights that were on the platform. So even though he got the lift, the weights were sitting on the platform, and that's why they didn't count it.
Lane number 7. We got 345 on the bar again. So 345 is the number to match. And for Team Witt,
these guys can lift.
Over 90 seconds remaining, or just under 90 seconds. Lane 9. 345 going up another attempt for Witt's team member, Zach George. And just to our left, 365 just went up. Here goes 345. Okay, a nice little power clean. Why not? 365 on the bar for Griffin Rowe. And that definitely wasn't a strength issue. It was just more of not catching in the right spot. And if you don't get 365 perfect, you're not going to be able to muscle that one out very often.
No, I mean, obviously he's got the strength. We know he can hit that lift. He's just kind of playing with the time right now. He wants to make sure his other guys get some good numbers up there rather than risk it and try to get another 10 pounds.
He didn't have a whole lot of time, 30 seconds remaining. And we see some of the strongest athletes all side by side. So 345 on the bar center screen for Zach George. You can see Griffin Roll behind him trying to add some weight. Missed the jerk portion on the previous one. And he'll miss it again. Hutchinson behind him is going for 340. Oh, we just saw a successful lift off screen. And they got to finish the lift before the time ends, as opposed to getting the bar off the ground.
Man, what was impressive on that heat was the fact that so many guys were moving so much weight. We didn't even get a chance to really even talk about the handstand. Everyone blew through that so fast, and that's what you want. You have this level of athlete should be able to handle that, and they did. And man, what a show with all those weights that they were throwing up.
Well, the elite teams of 4 are coming up next, and they've got a lot of weight thrown up just ahead of them. We'll see if they can match it. 2 men, 2 women. The elite teams from the deck here at Wodapalooza coming up next.
Introducing the new Jaguar E-Pace. Visit Jaguar Fort Lauderdale, The Collection, or Warren Henry Jaguar.
The Renaissance Diet Auto Templates were designed to assist you in your nutritional intervention so that you could build muscle and burn fat to the best of your abilities. With the backing of more than 15 PhDs, professors, experts in sport nutrition, and medical doctors, the Renaissance Diet Templates are designed to be completely science-backed.
My name's Rich Froning. I'm 4-time CrossFit Games individual champion. RP has helped a ton with what time to eat, how much to eat, the quality of food I need to get in. I feel a lot better, I feel stronger.
My name is Annie Thorstetter. I've won the CrossFit Games twice. I definitely feel a big difference, especially during my training sessions. I'm still capable of having the food that I really like. I just need to make sure I'm having the right portions of it.
The Renaissance Diet Auto Templates are no fad and no gimmick. They're a scientifically backed formula for success. Give one a shot today.
All right, bringing out our teams. No specific order. They're going to separate and go to each side of the floor. But starting off in lane number 14, Team Butcher's Lab. And lane number 13, Invictus Boston. Lane number 12, Forged by Zeus. And lane number 11, CrossFit Mayhem Independence. Lane number 10, Team Plus Ultra. Lane number 9, Team Lesser Evil. Lane number 8, Team Ramwad Wit. Lane number 7, Team Misfit. Lane 6, Invictus X. Lane number 5, CrossFit Mayhem Freedom. Lane number 4, CrossFit 417. Lane number 3, Team 4 Loco. Lane number 2, Salt Lake City CrossFit.
The elite co-ed teams taking the stage for the final time. For the final day, they'll still have one more event after this. And we've had 5 scored events, and we're moving into an event. As you look at some of the athletes on the board, there are some strong human beings on this competition floor.
Yeah, and I also want to say we can almost discount, for the most part, that obstacle right in the middle. We were talking about how important the obstacle is, but now it's about who's going to be putting up some weight, and there are all kinds of athletes out here. It's going to be, this is going to be a lifting show. So we've seen it before with the 3-person team. This is a 4-person team, 12-minute cap total. We're going to have the women go out first in a pair. Their event is 6 minutes long. So at the end of 6 minutes, when they're done making their way over through the 100 double unders over that obstacle, they're done with their lifting. Then the men start the 6-minute point, and then we have the other 2 athletes go.
And this is the game we're playing. You're like, hey, look at the athletes on this team. And you're like, they had Easy Muhammad over there in 4. Look, it's like, okay, well, look at Plus Ultra. Oh, yeah, Travis Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Urankar, Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet. Oh, wait, what about, team with Tola Moraquino that snatched 335, where everyone else here is clean and jerking that if they're lucky.
Yeah.
They got athletes across the board, Lauren Fisher, Tommy Venus, Rasmus Anderson, all on one team that have massive clean and jerks. I mean, we're just going down the list. We don't even know who to highlight just because everyone here is just
Power
so strong.
And it's going to be fun to watch. And what I think that's going to do is these athletes all know where everybody is. I mean, we'll just say this, Chase. It's a glorified bro sesh, and everyone's going to be looking to see where everybody is. But I think if you look across the board, especially for the clean and jerk, it might not be the prettiest, but Nick Urankar has got the gnarliest clean and jerk, I think, out here of any of the athletes. So when you're looking at that, you got to put him out in front for the guys, part of the team. Get him over there so he can put some weight up. But this is the thing. He does this kind of stuff all the time, and he doesn't need a lot of warm-up to do it. So I think this is a great event for him and for his team with the Four Locos.
Athletes getting set. The two female pairs will go first. And so they'll do 100 double unders and cross over that obstacle course in the center part of the floor. And then when in the time remaining of 6 minutes, they'll get as heavy of a clean and jerk as possible, and then the men will return and do the same thing. And you're talking about Nick Urankar, but he's also coupled with Travis Williams, who also has just a massive clean and jerk and just odd skill capacity for things like this.
I love the fact that Travis is such like a CrossFit anomaly. You have someone that at one point was over 300 pounds, got himself in shape, and now just can do all kinds of crazy things very, very well. But again, that team, and I apologize, I said Four Locos, I meant the Plus Ultra team. There are all four powerful athletes. I mean, Tori Helgadottir, she's an Olympic lifter. Hello. Camille, same thing. Even though she's got a gymnastic background, she's had so much time on the Olympic lifting realm as well. So that's going to be a tough team to beat overall.
And what we need to touch on is that there shouldn't be any issue with the handstand walk over this obstacle, just because all these athletes, practically everyone here is an individual games athlete or has multiple years of regional competition. Everybody has been on this obstacle course in a setting like this, if not more intense. But we've seen weird things happen this weekend to very, very good teams. And that, yes, they might have a 40-point lead as Team Rodwan Witt and lane number 8 are currently leading. But when you have Invictus's team and even Plus Ultra, they're only 80 points behind. First to 10th with this scoring system is a 40-point difference. That's all it takes. It just takes one person to have a bad day.
One person to have a bad day, and as we did talk earlier in the other event with the 3-person team, if you cannot get both of your athletes across, if something happens in their brain, they get frustrated, whatever, and you can't get both athletes over there and they can't get the numbers that they need. We already talked about how strong everyone is. So just like to your point, you go from first to last. That's 40 points. And again, this is 2 events, not just 1 event, it's 2 events. How fast can you get across that obstacle? And also, how much weight can your team lift?
Mackenzie Riley is the first female athlete across the competition floor. Teza Persevich for Mayhem Freedom. That's one of the teams that has just had a weird weekend, where they had 2 back-to-back events that they didn't even finish. And one was legless rope climbs, which isn't an issue for any athlete, but it was, and a swim, which they all do all the time.
Right.
And so with something, we're not taking anything for granted anymore.
You can't. I mean, the thing is, it's sport. Anything can happen at any time. Anyone can be beat at any time. But, even with that rough finish that they had, or those 2 events that they were rough, they came out to their regular type CrossFit event last night and, man, blasted everyone. So they're still in there. They're not going to go to the games, but they're still in there to really make a push and get that confidence back.
Second female athletes working on their double unders. We're past the 2-minute mark, which means only 4 minutes remaining to get as over the obstacle and as much weight on the clean and jerk as possible. Mackenzie Riley was first off for her team, trying to hang on to that first place position. Lane number 10, Turi Helgadottir and Camille LeBlanc-Bassinet are both on their lifting platform. It's one of the first teams that has both athletes on it. See Travis Williams looking on. It's over in lane 10. Turi Helgadottir setting up for her first lift. China Cho. Looks like a conservative lift just to get it on the board. Behind her, Lauren Fisher going for 215. So 215, one of the heaviest lifts we've seen.
Wow. It just stuck that footwork. Lauren Fisher, good lifter.
Ellie Kabord, she'll hit 175. Now we see some big weight on the bar. Lane number 7, 9, or 8, 10, and Invictus X in the center part of your screen. Then we got an attempt at 225 for Reagan Huckabee. And she just got to the platform. Lauren Fisher's been working here for about 3 minutes.
And that was huge because the fact you saw her wobble backwards, that took a lot of energy out of her. The fact she was able to pull that off and stayed with it and still stick it, that was impressive.
Camille LeBlanc-Bassinet just nails over 230. It's 235 to be specific for Camille. As we have 90 seconds left, she'll interchange some weights for Turi Helgadottir. Lauren Fisher in the forward part of our screen just hit 225, so 225 for Fisher, 225 for Huckabee. Just 90 seconds remaining. Mackenzie Riley missing an attempt at 225 herself. She'll change the weights out for her teammate China Cho. Chantel Lehner over in lane number 8 just went for an attempt at 235. It looks like Jen Dancer might try the same. They're on the right side of your screen in the pink and gray. And then Jessica Griffith just to her left says, you don't want to do 235? How about I try 235? And if she can stand it up, 235 is good for Jessica Griffith. Jamie Green lining up just behind her, 40 seconds remaining. Heaviest pair we've seen is 225 apiece. Griffith just hit 235. Jamie Green going for attempt at 235. And she'll, and there's that one thing we saw that earlier in some of the heavier lifts is that the strength was there, but the positioning was not.
Yeah, she just, I mean, that was a very shallow split. That's why she missed that a little. I mean, an inch deeper, she could have easily had that.
And now it'll be the men's turn as they are going to tackle the same exact format. 100 heavy double unders, handstand walk obstacle course. 6 minutes for both pairs to get as heavy as they can.
So the women have to clean up the room basically to get everything set up. They got to get their bar out of there. They got to get all the weights off the platform while these guys are setting up, getting through these double unders, and then making their way up over that obstacle. Again, I don't think for the most part the obstacle is going to be a problem. Now on the women's side, we saw about 2 or 3 teams that didn't get their women all the way across. So that's definitely going to hurt them. Teams like the Four Locos, they didn't get everyone across there, so there's some struggle. I look across the field here with the guys, and I don't think that there's an issue for any of these athletes to be able to get themselves across. We'll have to see, again, that frustration can settle in and can really mess some people up. So we'll have to see if that really is going to affect anybody.
See a race across the obstacle course.
Wow.
They might have to find some harder obstacles for these athletes to go through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm surprised they didn't have the game style where the parallel bars that you're going across, yeah.
So second individuals on the men's side are onto their first section. As the first athletes will be working on the barbell, you can see Elijah Muhammad throwing on 275. Now they'll be going to the 12-minute mark. If you're looking at the time on the upper left part of your screen, the women had 6 minutes. The men will have 6 minutes to get as heavy as they can. And we thought just getting to the platform might be a hindrance. Turns out to just be an annoyance.
An annoyance. For the guys so far, that's absolutely the case. And one thing we haven't really mentioned, the guys that are on the opposite side, you can see them in the shade. That could actually work to their advantage because they're not having to face into the sun. They don't have that distraction of all that sunlight right in the face where the guys on the side where we are, as we're sitting here covering our face trying to block the sun out, they have to deal with that sun.
3:15 on the bar. in lane number 4. Looks like CrossFit 417 as Jared Stevens just gets across. So they have both athletes on the bar. And 417 naturally just has some good old corn-fed strong Midwestern boys and girls on their team. I mean, 417 traditionally is just a strong group of people.
They are some very powerful people, and every single social media picture that they have, it's like a sea of abs all the way across. So you know that they take a lot of pride in being the fact that they are a very strong team.
Jared Stevens just got off walking his hands not but 30 seconds ago, and he just cleaned 3:15. 3 minutes remaining. And now we got some big weights going on in lane 10, lane 12. We just heard Paul Tremblay hit 3:45. Rasmus Anderson in the center part of your screen is going for 3:15. Make that 3:25. So Invictus's team of lesser evil, Rasmus Anderson, they've already got a bid to the games. They won Dubai. 3:25 is good as he's working with Tommy Venus. 3:15 successful, now trying 3:35. Wow. Jared Stevens working in. 3:35 as well. As Jared Stevens and Tyler Christopher are both just putting on the weight and putting it overhead. You see Jordan Cook and Chandler Smith. 3:15 on the bar.
Just about 90 seconds remaining, athletes, 90 seconds to go.
Some of the biggest lists we'll see might be coming in lane 13 shortly, as we are running out of time. We have just over a minute to go.
360 for 456.
3:35 is a miss, and here comes Tola Muraquinho with 1 minute left to go. Just asked but 3:65 on the bar as Tyler will hit 3:45. Oh, I'm sorry, 3:70. That's a big difference. 3:70 for Tyler as Jared Stevens asked to put on 3:70 himself. 30 seconds remaining. And in lane 13, 3:70 for Jared Stevens. 15 seconds to go. 3:85 for Tola Muraquinho, 3:70 for Jared Stevens. And just like that, at the buzzer, we saw two of the heaviest lifts we've seen in any division so far.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all I have to say about that. That was a battle of brawn across the field. All those guys, man, I mean, when you come out as your opening lift being 3:15, generally speaking across the board, and everyone making that look so easy, thinking that 3:45 was going to be a big lift, and that just, again, being a very normal across the board lift, incredible. A lot of strength. That's what we wanted to see. We saw it.
That'll do it for the elite teams in the co-ed division, as they have just a few events left to determine which team will get that second invite to the 2019 CrossFit Games. For Bill Grundler, I'm Chase Ingram. The individual men and women will be coming up next from the deck here of the 2019 Wodapalooza CrossFit Festival.